Hi everyone, welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. How are you guys doing today? Hope you guys are doing good and that these messages are helping you and that all is well. And thank you new subscribers, thank you old subscribers, thank you all for being here, and thank you for continuing to support this channel. It means so much. That it tells me that a lot of people are resonating with these messages and that these messages are helping you. So that's really amazing, and I'm very happy about that, guys, really, because everything that I speak about here is from my own experiences, things that personal experiences that I went through that was traumatic, overwhelming, and I had to do some real serious healing from the inside out. Let me tell you guys, I'll get into that in a moment. I just want to say I'm not a therapist, I'm not a social worker or a counselor. I'm just somebody who went through a lot of hell, trials, and trauma, and I found some ways with the help of God to overcome it. And I want to help you perhaps with what I speak about here, because sometimes people might be going through the similar experiences or similar circumstances, and perhaps you might hear something here that might help you with your own circumstances. So please keep tuning in. With that being said, guys, let's keep this a no judgment zone. We're here to uplift. There's a lot of judgment in this world today. There's a lot going on a level of toxicity. So we want to keep things uplifted here on this channel. So with that being said, let me tell you what happened today, guys. I had to go to the library earlier today because this tablet, this is a Chrome, it's not a laptop. What they don't tell you is that it doesn't have all the features and, like the laptop does. So this Chrome doesn't really print out. So I have to go and do my printing from the library. But at some point, I'm just going to get another laptop because the one I had broke. So with that being said, what happened is that I was at the library printing out some documents. And this woman who was there had a son. And the son, I believe, as she said, had special needs. So she was on the other side using a computer, and I think the son had moved to another computer, was sitting down. Not sure exactly what he was doing, but it was nothing alarming. A guy who was sitting on the other side of where the kid was flipped out. I don't know exactly what happened, and started yelling at this kid. The kid must have been about 7 years old. And the woman got up and said, "That's my son. He has special needs. What are you doing?" And the guy right there at the library was in this woman's face. The people there were kind of little concerned, as I was, because the guy had on zipped up sweater, but he had this duffel bag, and you don't know what people are carrying today, and he was getting really irate. And she's telling him, "Listen, my son has special needs, calm down." It got so heated that she had to end up calling the police. And I'm like, really? When somebody tells somebody that they have a child or person who has special needs, from my understanding, people are people are understanding of that and they back off, but this guy didn't, and it was just getting heated. And it just made me realize that we are experiencing more and more toxicity in this world today, and people just are not thinking clearly. And it's to the point, guys, where people have become unreasonable in their way of thinking, and sometimes in the way that they do things. It's as if they don't care. And I don't know what the end result was that, because I didn't stay too long thereafter. But I just said, wow, we're here in a library and this is what's happening. And it just made me realize that toxicity is all around us, and it seems to be growing. Just as I used the metaphor, the elephant in a room, it just seems like all this negativity is just out of control. And it seems to be the norm in the world that we live in today. Sometimes it seems it's difficult to rid yourself of the toxicity that's around us in this world today. Um, no matter how hard you try, sometimes what happens is that it's hard to rid yourself of this toxicity that keeps showing its ugly head all around us. And it seems to be in your face toxicity, getting worse and worse and worse as time moves on. And it seems as if many people, like I just said, have become unreasonable in their way of thinking and doing things to the point where the toxicity is the norm. What happened to respect? What happened to courtesy and do unto others as you want done unto yourself? I think people have forgotten about these things. I have some notes here. Some folks seem to be drunk with issues of control and egotistical, ego tripping everywhere you go. And it's crazy, guys. When I decided to get on this journey to heal, I had to learn what was for my highest good and what was not. And it wasn't easy. And what that meant to me is that I had to stay focused on this healing journey. I had to stay focused on healing, growth, and evolving. Because if I allowed the toxicity and the toxic individuals and circumstances to distract me, I wouldn't be where I am today. And let me tell you, it's not easy because it's an ongoing battle. So that means you have to crawl through all these circumstances, negativity and toxicity. And I stay in prayer a lot with God. Consistency and persevering, fighting and crawling through these problems, trials, and tribulations is how I am staying on top. And it's not easy because we're human and some days we just don't feel like being bothered with certain things. And we just have to keep going. And I trust God. And, some days I'm in prayer more than others because of it. I also learned how to walk by sight and not by faith. And that's not easy either because as a Virgo, I like things to be in a certain order. I hate chaos, guys. Really despise it. Especially when I know how to make things work where it's smooth. Everything can't be that way. But, just ongoing toxic things and chaos and drama, I don't take those things in. And that's what it seems like our world is spinning on today. I also made some vows to God. Like when I got on this journey to heal, I made a few vows to God. And guys, I don't play with God. I take my vows and my journey seriously. It's not a joke or a game. Other people may try to do that, but I'm very disciplined after, doing all this work to heal. And I continue to persevere no matter what's going on around me, regardless of all the noise that may be going on around me. I stay in prayer a lot. It's so important. Let me tell you guys that since I've done this, I have committed to doing, let me say it like this. Since I have committed to doing this, I have attracted a lot of haters. You would think you would attract haters if you were doing the wrong thing. But because I am doing the right thing and it's working because I can see the results in my life. I've been doing this since I got on this journey in 2020. Probably more so I started doing the work in 2023. And you would think people would want to see you grow, heal, and evolve because it's a good thing. But because of so much toxicity in this world today, people want to knock you down, pull you back down. It's like the metaphor I always use, crabs in a barrel. When they see one crab crawling up to the top to make its way out, they all pull the crab right back down to the bottom. I have attracted haters, men and women. And many of them are hating on me simply because I made a decision to heal, grow, and evolve. And because the old version of myself that was subservient to other folks and being a doormat to people while neglecting my own needs, that Lisa doesn't exist anymore. The people who want to disrespect me and be dismissive, etc., what I do, let me tell you guys something about that. When you have people disrespecting you, ego tripping, acting out of character, and doing the most and the worst, go silent. Because if you engage in that, they're pulling on your strength and everything. They're taking away from what you're doing. Like if you're doing work to heal and to be at peace, they're taking all that away when you engage in a toxicity. Give them your undivided silence. Remember the Garfunkel, Simon and Garfunkel song, The Sound of Silence? That's what I do. I only engage when it's necessary. And when I do engage, it's not with an attitude. Hold on, I want to put the music back on. It's not with an attitude, I do what I need to do. But when someone wants to be petty, and this is how people are not healing, because they're in a place of being petty and toxic and doing the most and worst because they're hating on your growth, hating on you sometimes because of biasness, like being a woman, etc. and so forth. I don't have time to engage in things like that. When I made vows to God, not only did I make a vow to grow, heal, and evolve, I made a vow to help others. There's certain vows that I made, and I make sure I keep those vows. I'm not going to talk about all of them, but some of the vows I made is to help other people. And when people dismiss you or dismiss me like I'm nothing, I go into prayer with God. Because as I made those vows, and I'm telling you guys the truth, and as I move forward, no matter what it looks like around me, things could be falling apart around me, I tune that stuff out. I've learned to do that, and I do that with prayer. I go into prayer, and I may stay in prayer, come in, and people think, oh yeah, we haven't seen you, or you, just because I'm in prayer. And when I'm in prayer, I'm fasting as well. Not all the time, but many times. And talking to God, and He answers my prayers because of the vows that I keep. And not only that, because I'm staying on this journey to heal, not just for myself, but to help others to do it too. But I give the praise, glory, and honor to God all the time because I couldn't do it without Him. And I draw my strength from God, And when you draw your strength from God, He does the rest, guys. And it's not easy. And when somebody hates you for the wrong reason, they hating on you, doing petty stuff in the background, they think you don't know about it because you're still trying to be professional towards that person, if you have to deal with them in that capacity, or you just pull back your energy. Don't give any more of your energy to the situation because it's toxic, it's negative, and what happens is that they play on that. When you don't engage in a toxicity, then you can't fuel the fire, is basically what I'm saying. When someone wants to ignite a fire, they will try to bait you into negativity, saying things, doing petty things to get you engaged in it. Don't give them what they want. Don't allow that fire to burn, because then you're taking away from yourself. The silence, guys, it works. Just give them your unnecessary, how do I say that? Your silence. I'll say it just like that. Because when you don't engage into arguing and this petty stuff, it can't grow. And you leave it where it is and let go and let God. And it's hard, guys, because we're human and we have our own things going on. That's hard at times. But, I try to do that as much as I can. I'm human, I make mistakes, but I, let go and let God, because He can do it better than I can. I had a woman not too long ago, let's see, probably maybe a few months ago. I don't really know this woman, but she started a conversation with me and said to me with sarcasm, with a hint of sarcasm, "You think you know God. You don't know God. What makes you think you know Him?" And it's just the body language. When people are being sarcastic, right? And then she went on. I'm not going to go into further details, but I found my insides getting like a little like uncomfortable. So I let her finish, and I told her that God is elevating my life as I continue to heal, fulfill my vows, and help other folks. And I told her, you can believe whatever you want, that's fine, but I have no more to say about this, and I will respect you, if you just do the same. I have no more conversation about this, because I know my relationship with God. I don't need you to tell me what it is. So the reason why I'm talking about this, because I want to make it an example about igniting a fire, because she wanted to argue about religion and about people will find reasons to just start problems with you, is my point. And if you don't ignite that fire, they can't keep it going, And I'm not going to, what's that saying, guys? Put myself on fire just to make somebody else comfortable. I think that's the way it's said. And I'm not going to tiptoe around folks. Just if that's how they feel, that's fine. We all have a right to how we feel, etc. But we don't have a right to try to, ignite a fire with someone. But the best way I deal with that is to, like what I told her. And if she would have continued, I wouldn't have even participated in a conversation. I would have just continued on my way. And she couldn't continue if I wasn't there to participate in it. And that's my point. Guys, don't allow yourself to participate in something that's not for your highest good. Because you can tell when somebody just wants to get you angry and upset about things. And so when I ended that conversation, walked away from it, that ended. When some folks see your love for God, and they see your life is going up, and they see that you're at peace, more importantly, they may try to do things to agitate you, throw a monkey wrench in that, start problems, start gossip, malicious lies, etc. I had it all happen. And at first I used to get so upset about it. But then I realized that that the best course of action is to go silent. If people want to believe stuff, let them believe it. But through my actions and what I do, if I was doing any of those things that they were saying, my life wouldn't be going in an up direction. It will be going into a direction of chaos. So you let people talk, you let them do. You never ignite that fire. And I continue to do the work, persevere, move forward, do the work on myself. I'm not perfect, guys. I have my faults too. And I brush this off and keep moving. But what it does let me know, that what I'm doing, that people are watching, they see it. But, like I said, sometimes it's irritating, but never ignite that fire. I take my healing, my vows, and relationship with God seriously. I don't play with it. When it's necessary in situations where a person want to keep doing toxic things and try to drag you into it, what I do is set some strong boundaries. And then I let people know why I'm setting those boundaries. And if they keep being disrespectful, dismissive, then I cut off, block, and delete for my peace of mind and sanity. Because when you start to heal, guys, really heal, you start to self-love, self-care. And then eventually you start to feel that inner peace. And when you get to a place of inner peace, you're unbothered by the noise and toxicity around you. You know, in many cases, I just cut off, block, and delete, no matter who, what, where, or why, in order to stay in a place of peace. Guys, it's so important for your mental and physical health. Because that's another thing, if you keep engaging in these things, going back and forth, these toxic situations and circumstances, these things affect your mental and your physical health. And sometimes you'll find yourself getting sick and just tired and overwhelmed. So the best course of action is to set strong boundaries. And in my case, I had to cut off, block, and delete a lot of folks because they would not stop. Peace instead of being broken down into pieces, guys. Because when you get to a place of peace and healing, you want to live your life to the fullest instead of just existing and engaging in drama and negativity, guys. You know, just keep moving forward. And don't forget to take time out for yourself on a daily basis. You know, that's mental healing as well. Music, I have flowers, and sometimes, you know, I'll go for walks in nature, you know, sitting by the beach, by the water, and doing things to uplift your spirit and not tearing it down as we see in this world today. So guys, remember, it's better to be at a place of inner peace than broken down into pieces. That's the message today. Please share these videos with other people, because people need to know they don't have to feel broken and stagnated and in a space of depression, that they can heal these things one day at a time, one step at a time. Thank you guys for being here today. This is Lisa, shedding love and light, and I'll be back again tomorrow with a new message to uplift you guys and continue to move forward to take care of yourself on a daily basis. Please subscribe to the channel, because as you do that, you'll get a notification as to when I'm on, and then you can come on and join me. This video today is being recorded, and I should be back live tomorrow. And thank you guys for your support. I'm really grateful, and I appreciate you so much. Have a good evening, and I'll see you guys sometime tomorrow. Bye for now.